Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we've got another fun product from 8bitdo. They're best known, of course, for their game controllers, but now they're getting into keyboards and mice. This is their new mouse called the R8 mouse, and right now it's on its little charging dock here, but you can pop it off and use it like any other mouse would be used. And although it doesn't look like much, it's actually pretty nice. It's got this fun NES-style color scheme to it, along with 4 programmable buttons on both sides, and it's also got some very nice mechanical switches along with a sensor that is very well suited for gaming due to its very fast polling rate. We're going to take a closer look at this mouse and what it's all about in just a second, but I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that 8bitdo sent this to the channel free of charge. This showed up in my mailbox the other day. However, no other compensation was received. All of the opinions you're about to hear are my own, and they have not reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what this new mouse is all about. Now, the price point on this should come in at around $50. The Xbox edition costs a little bit more due to licensing, but this one, even though it looks like a Nintendo, doesn't have to be licensed by Nintendo for the look. Now, this has a PAW 3395 optical sensor on board, which is often found on gaming mice, and that's what this one is. Even though it doesn't quite look like a gaming mouse, it's got very good performance due to that optical sensor. Its polling rate can go up to 8,000 hertz, but it varies based on your connectivity method, and there are 3 different ways that this mouse can connect to your device. Now, this will work with anything that supports a mouse, and you have a choice between 2.4 gigahertz, Bluetooth, or have it set to USB, and you've got a USB Type-C port here on the front. They also include a USB-C to USB-A cable in the box. Now, if you want to go off the 2.4 gigahertz wireless, you can pull the little dongle out of here and plug it directly into your PC. You can also attach it to the docking station here and have the dongle sit in the docking station and have the docking station connected to your computer via USB. The dock actually has some very nice weight to it. It's got a nice rubber foot on the bottom too, so it does stay put on the desk, and I think it looks pretty cool too when the mouse is mounted in there. Now, to get the 8,000 hertz polling rate out of this, you do have to hardwire this into your computer with a USB cable. You can get a 4,000 hertz polling rate if you use the USB dongle here in the 2.4 gigahertz mode. Bluetooth has the slowest polling rate of only 125 hertz. So I would suggest, if you want the best performance, plug it in directly. That will be the minimal amount of lag, but you'll also do pretty well here with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. Now, battery life on this will vary based on what polling rate you set. So on Bluetooth, this will probably do about 80 to 100 hours before you need to charge it again. On the highest polling rate off of the 2.4 gigahertz dongle here, you're looking at maybe 20 or 25 hours or so before you have to charge again. But the dock here is so convenient that I think once you're done for the day, you can just pop it back in here and get it charged up again. So pretty decent polling rate over the wireless here with the dongle, but of course it'll do much better if you connect it directly, and that's what I would recommend for the best performance and the least amount of lag. Now, the button actuation feels very nice on this. You've got these very fast, clicky Kailh switches on it. These are Kailh Sword GMX switches, to be exact. And what's nice about this is that you can push the button all the way down at the bottom and at the top, and it will register all just the same. So very fast actuation here, and a very nice range in which you can push the mouse button down. Basically, the entire surface here is clickable, and it's got a very satisfying click when you do push that button. You also have 2 customizable buttons on each side. So you have 2 here and 2 here. I'll show you how to program those in a minute. By default, this is set to back and forward here, with these 2 buttons not activated until you go into the software to program things. This is ambidextrous, so you can reverse the order so that this is the left click and this is the right one for left-handed users. So you have that ability. You can set that in the software, but there's also a button combination you can push to set that up as well. There is a scroll wheel on here too. You can set the scroll speed both up and down, and I'll show you that in the software. And like most mice, you can click that scroll wheel down for additional features. And then here you have a DPI button, and when you push it, it will change the resolution of the mouse, and I'll show you the settings for that in a minute. I think there's 5 different settings here. and you'll know what position you're in because the light at the top will change color each time you push it. I don't have it connected to the computer at the moment, so the colors are not lighting up, but I'll demo that in a minute as well. One last thing I noticed is that in the box they do give you some replacement pads here for the bottom, so if you're hard on your mice and you wear this part out, you will have a replacement in the box that you can add in later. And then of course you've got your switch here for selecting the mode and a pairing button for getting the Bluetooth established. All right, so I've got the mouse connected up to the PC with the hard wire right now. If you want to have the mouse work in USB mode, all you have to do is make sure the bottom switch here is in the middle in the off position. And then when it detects a USB connection, it turns on. It'll start charging the battery and allow you to use the mouse as a hardwired mouse. And I have the Ultimate software loaded up right now. This is how you do your firmware updates, but they also have profiles that you can set up which allow you to configure the buttons on the mice along with some performance items as well. So you could conceivably set up different profiles for different games. You can set up macros so that you can push one of the side buttons here and have it do something special for that game. And then you can just jump into the software here and switch the active profile to have it do something else. All of the buttons, with the exception of the primary click, can be configured here. So for example, I can jump over here on the side. I could set an alphanumeric function here so I could have it push the letter L every time I push that upper right side button. I can configure what the scroll click does, what the right mouse button does, along with the other two buttons there on the front. And you've got a bunch of stuff that can be configured into this. Additionally, there are macros that you can record and have those assigned to one of the buttons as well. The macros can only be assigned, though, to the 4 buttons on each side. One other thing you can set here in the software is the left-hand or right-hand mode. So if you don't want to do the onboard key command to get it going, you can do it in the software here, but you can do it just by pushing buttons on the mice without having to load up the software. By the way, the software runs right now on the Mac and on Windows. There's also a DPI feature here, and this is where you set each level of sensitivity. And when you push down the button here on the top of the mouse, you'll see the color of the button change with each push. And each of those color changes coincides with what you set up here in the software. So you click on the level that you want, and then you dial in the level of sensitivity that you want to assign, and then you can get everything changing here with each button push. My only gripe is that it doesn't leave the light on all that long, so if you push it once, it'll change the mode, and then it turns off after about 5 or 10 seconds. And if you push it again, it goes to the next mode. So it's hard to tell what mode you're in without cycling back through all of it. But that's a small gripe. It's kind of nice to have some flexibility to program all this stuff. There's also a performance section here. This is where you set the polling rate. So because we're on USB, we're at 8,000 right now. This is the least amount of lag. And there will be some processor overhead when you have it set this high, but most modern gaming PCs, that shouldn't be an issue. But if you're noticing some performance issues, you can tweak the polling rate a little bit to make it work better. There's also a setting to adjust the liftoff distance. So right now, if I'm a millimeter off the table, it shuts off the sensor, but I could double that to 2 millimeters if I wanted to. You also can control the scroll speed, both for up and down on the roller. So that's pretty neat as well. So lots of ways to configure the mouse here, a little bit more than what you might think. And it's all pretty simple to navigate this. Now, when I took it out of the box, I was very impressed with the weight and the feel of the base, but not so much with the mouse itself. But as I've been playing some games on the mouse, I've come to appreciate the fact that its lightweight is actually a benefit here. It is so nice and easy to play games like Quake 2 here with this mouse. It feels nice in the hand, it's lightweight. That button push here is very responsive and snappy, and you can push anywhere along the button here. So where it counts, the build quality is good. Even if it feels a little bit light, I think it does make a lot of sense to have something this lightweight for games that require a lot of dexterity here, more dexterity than I might have most of the time. So I've really enjoyed playing some FPS games on this and others. Even basic computing on this feels pretty good. The accuracy is there. There's very minimal lag when you have that 8,000 hertz polling rate enabled. I can't actually feel any lag at that rate. So all in, I am quite impressed with how everything feels when it's in operation, even if it feels a little bit lightweight out of the box. And overall, I found this to be another nice little gaming product from 8bitdo. The price isn't bad on it, depending on what the tariffs are looking like. And I like the functionality and customization that they offer. And it's a nice pairing up with some of the keyboards we've looked at from them recently. That will do it for this one. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.